Hi everybody, we have an Australian Labradoodle puppy birth announcement video today. In today's video, we're going to introduce you to each one of the 6 Labradoodle puppies from our Burnished Arbutus litter. We'll tell you about the birthing process, and we'll also tell you how Mama Labradoodle Juniper is doing. Hi, I'm Claire from Isle Doodles, and these mini to large mini Australian Labradoodle puppies are 2 days old. These puppies were born on June the 3rd in the early evening hours. So it was great. We had a daytime delivery. Juniper started her early stages of labor in the morning that day, and then the first puppy arrived at 6:30 p.m. and she had delivered all 6 of them by 8:15 in the evening. So not too bad. We had a fashionably late dinner at 9 o'clock that night. Juniper was all settled in. Juniper has taken to being a mom really well. You can see she's quite relaxed here. She's interacting with the camera even, looking at Daddy Reynolds there going, what are we doing? When the first puppy was born, she was a little bit surprised and unsure. She didn't know what to make of the puppy. And once the puppy latched on and began nursing, she wasn't too keen on that plan. She sat there, but she just didn't know what to do, and you could tell by the look on her face that she was really quite confused and not sure what on earth was going on. And then when the second puppy was born, she was much more comfortable with that puppy nursing. And then once the third puppy arrived, she had it all figured out and just settled right into the role. So it takes a while for Mama Labradoodle's hormones to kick in when they're giving birth. Of course, there's a whole lot of hormones rushing around and things going on. So for the first time, I can only imagine how frightening it must be, because it's not like you can understand it, have had it explained to you. It's just all going on instinct. But Juniper, she is a lovely, sweet, and caring girl. Extremely intuitive, highly intelligent, and it didn't take her long to figure it out at all. And now she's really enjoying herself. She loves her little family. She is tremendously protective of these puppies. When we take Juniper out to go to the bathroom, we have to clear all the other dogs long ways away, because she's just right away growling at them and saying, hey, don't you get near my puppies. So this is when this type of maternity ward that Reynolds built really works well, because it's solid on all 4 sides and it's high enough as well that she can't see over top of it. Now Misha is right next door with her puppies, but they're not able to interact with one another. They can hear each other and they know the other one is there, but they can't interact or actually see each other. And the front of this room has glass doors. There's double glass doors into it, because were we not whelping puppies, this would probably be somebody's den or their home office. So we built the door so that it too is solid, and that blocks off any ability for the moms to be able to see out. That way when our dogs are running around outside or just walking by, or we are, the girls are not agitated and they're not upset, which allows them to be nice, calm, relaxed moms. And this is what the result is. Like you can see all these puppies here. No, I think only Yellow is actually nursing. Otherwise, they're all just sleeping, and they're all completely content. Their tummies are full, they're warm, and their mom's relaxed, so they're relaxed. And this is what we want to see in our puppies. We want to start right from the beginning with a nice, calm, and relaxed atmosphere. Now over on this side of the whelping room, we have 2 windows that face northeast, and the other one is a little bit more northwest orientated. So there's lots of light coming in, and we do have shades on the window. So if it's a really bright day and it's the first day after the puppies are born, we'll pull the shades so that they're in a more darkened environment. The darkness also helps to give mom a lot more calmness. Now right now when we're filming the video, of course it's bright because we have the camera light on here, but otherwise we don't leave the overhead lights on in the room. We leave them off so that it's just, you know, a little bit of daylight coming through, but otherwise it's a fairly filtered light to keep things nice and calm for them. So Juniper delivered her puppies in really very good time, in just under 2 hours for 6 puppies, which is great. She had no difficulties at all with the birth. The longest pause was not really all that long. The longest one was from 7:10 to 7:53. That was it, so there was no big whelping pause. And she took it all in stride. She was really good. She didn't fuss around or anything. And one of the nicest things about it all is now Juniper has her full appetite back. She's really hungry. She's eating really nicely. But strangely, before she had the puppies, she was pretty much off of her frozen raw food, but really quite fond of the dehydrated raw food. Now it's the opposite. Whatever dehydrated, or freeze-dried, not dehydrated, sorry. Any freeze-dried raw food I put in her dishes, yeah, no thanks. But all the frozen raw is eaten just like crazy. She also gets 1 egg a day too. And because she has puppies, we give her a larger chicken egg as opposed to the quail eggs that we give our other dogs when they don't have puppies. So eggs are really a complete food, and it boosts up their zinc and a lot of other good things inside them to help them deal with the fact that they are lactating. So it's quite a bit of work and quite a bit of energy to feed this number of mouths, even though they are not huge puppies by any means. Now, I said earlier that these little Labradoodles are going to be mini Labradoodles to large mini Labradoodles. So Juniper herself is a mini. She's Ripple's daughter. She usually tends to weigh around the 18 to 20 pound range. After this litter, I would say she'll probably settle more into the 20-21 pound range. And she is about 16 inches at the top of her shoulders here. So she's a lovely size. She's easy to pick up. She obviously doesn't take up a lot of space, but she has lots and lots of stamina and energy. And really, if you wanted to go for a 5-kilometer run with her, she'd be happy to do that with you without any trouble. Obviously, she'd have to work up to it, but she wouldn't have any trouble doing that. Great for water sports, but also just fine with sitting at home, going for nice, gentle strolls, and really just loving being at home with her people. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's the kind of lifestyle that Juniper actually does enjoy. Her guardians are both retired, and so they have a lovely, quiet home life where she enjoys a lot of attention, and she's very much a prized member of the family. And Kay and Colin really understand Juniper and work with her remarkably well. They've even taught Juniper how to use buttons that represent words, and Juniper can make very small sentences. So Juniper can type out with her paws on the buttons, Juniper go for walk, Juniper hungry, Juniper not hungry. So she can communicate all those things, which is really incredible. It's really amazing. And Kay and Colin have worked really hard to bring out that part of Juniper. And that is a really fulfilling for Juniper. Lots of times people think that for a dog to live a full and complete life, you have to have a backyard, or you have to take them on these great outdoor adventures all the time. It's simply not true with an Australian Labradoodle. You can easily have one of these dogs in a condo, a townhouse, or you can have them on 500 acres. Whatever situation you have, they will fit into. Adaptable is one of the main and key characteristics that Australian Labradoodles have. Our dogs, even though we do live on an acreage, many times when we have lots of puppies and things are going on, families visiting, they don't get out for a walk every day. Absolutely not. And they're perfectly fine with that. And we do live on Vancouver Island, which we also refer to as the wet coast. And this spring is a really good example of wet coast weather. It seems to have rained every day for the last 2 months, I think. And when it's really torrential rain, we don't take the dogs out in that. They just get soaked. So when that happens, they're totally fine. They will just come and curl up with you. They'll come to the office with us. They'll be happy to watch TV, read a book. They're completely content with that. So that way, it's also, these dogs are great for a wide range of ages. So if you're really active and outdoorsy and a family with children, that's perfectly fine with them. If you're a retired couple or have a slightly more sedentary lifestyle, that's totally fine with them too. They just will go with the flow and be totally fine with that. And what really brings out the happiness in an Australian Labradoodle is when you use their brains. If you exercise their brains, that's way more important to them and more fulfilling to them than any great massive hike is going to be. So just something to keep in mind if you're ever considering having an Australian Labradoodle puppy. Right, sweetheart? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go through each of these puppies in birth order and tell you a little bit about each of them. If Juniper doesn't like me doing that, then we won't hold them up. We'll put them back down. But as you can see in the group here, so Juniper has a brown nose and she is a chocolate, although you can see because she's a sable, she has all sorts of cool color in her. She has lots and lots of different hues. So you can see at the tip of her ear, she has really quite dark brown, whereas around her face here and on her legs, she has quite a bit of a red hue. And then on her body, she has this gorgeous goldy milk and chocolate color. It's really beautiful because she has so many different hues in her coat. Now right now her coat is clipped very short, and that is of course her maternity hairdo. It keeps her cooler, easier for the babies to get into the milk bar, and it also keeps things cleaner for the puppies so that we keep them free of disease. Now Copper, who is the papa for this litter, he is a red caramel and he is quite red. So he's very similar to red color here, a little bit redder even than this puppy. This puppy has more brown in their coat than Copper does. So Copper also has brown, well, he has a liver nose. So this is going to mean that all these puppies are caramels. We won't have apricots in this litter. They'll all end up with brown and rose noses. Oh my goodness, here's a little hand showing here. Help, help, let me up from under the milk bar here. And you can see we have lots of variations on caramel. And then we have our one blondie down there. This is a caramel party, so we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But you can see between red color and yellow color here, while they're both caramel, there's a good variation in the hue. So this is more of a gold tone and this is definitely a red tone. So lots of shades here. These shades will change and develop a little bit as they get older. Some of them will darken and some of them will lighten as they mature. So that's one of the features of a caramel coat in an Australian Labradoodle puppy. But they're all non-shedding and they're all fleece coats. And they'll all be a wavy coat with a little bit of curl. Looks like yellow's maybe going to have a bit more curl than the others. Maybe the party too. You can see the fur is a little more ripply, whereas when it's straight like this, then generally you're going to get this look like Junie has here, which is a nice, gentle, soft wave. Easy care. This is a coat that's very easy to get the brush through and maintain. It does require lots of regular grooming at a professional groomer's, at least once every 8 weeks. But for at-home maintenance, this is not a difficult coat to look after. So these puppies will go through in birth order for all of our videos. And the first one born in the litter is this red collar female here. So she is a red caramel, and we'll just see what Junie thinks about me showing her to you. Apparently that's perfectly fine. So one of the things that's really important is that we build a strong bond with our moms. But even our strongest bonds doesn't always mean that mom's comfortable with you picking their babies up. So this little girl has a whole bunch of milk on her face, so she must have been right near a faucet that was giving her lots of extra milk. So this little lady is a beautiful dark red caramel, and that's why we gave her that red ID collar. And you can see she's a solid, I think, no white tip on her tail, which generally is something that Papa Copper produces. No white on anything, but a little bit of white on the bottom of the feet. And so Ms. Red was born at precisely 6:30 p.m. and she came in at 242 grams, and that is the biggest puppy in the litter. So that was quite a beginning for Juniper. Very first puppy that she ever has, and is the biggest one in the litter. It'd be nice if she could have started with the smallest, ease her way into it, but she took it all in stride and it didn't bother her at all. Next is Black Collar, and Black Collar is our little blondie here, and he's a boy. And he, as I said, is a party. And if you're not familiar with Australian Labradoodle colors and patterns, a party is when at least 50% of the body is white and the other 50% is the base color. So this little guy, he's going to darken up in his caramel colors as he goes along. So you can see he's got lots of caramel over his ears here, and he's going to be a cutie because he's got one eye that's caramel, and then over here the caramel's off to the side. So he's going to have a little bit of a patch look to him. And then on his back, you can't see all of his markings yet, but they're there on his back. They'll show up as time goes on. And these puppies who have all this white on their face have really pink noses. They tend to look a little funny when they're very first born. Somebody's getting a little bit upset there. What's going on, June? And Mr. Black, he was born at 6:41 p.m. and he was 203 grams. He would have been a nicer beginning, I think, for Juniper. There we go. Yeah, don't worry. I put you right back to mommy. There you go. Next is Blue Collar, who's hiding underneath here. Where is Mr. Blue? This is Miss Pink. Yeah, here we go. You're Mr. Blue. Here we go. Oh, good. And Mr. Blue is not nursing. And Mr. Blue is also a boy, and he is also that deep red caramel color. Really, really rich, nice, dark red hue there. Now, if they had black noses, they would be actual red dogs. But in Australian Labradoodle breed standard, your leathers, which are your nose, your lips, and your pads, the color of those determine whether you are a caramel or whether you are red. So this little puppy also is a solid, which is an unusual thing for us. Lots of pretty solid puppies, and no white anywhere. No, there is a hint of a little tip there on the tail, but you won't ever see that, and especially not as this puppy gets a little bit older. And we do have a little bit of a white goatee going on there, but that's about it. Yeah. So Mr. Blue Collar came at 7:03 p.m. and was 228 grams. Very nice sizes for mini Australian Labradoodle puppies. Next is Green Collar, and Green Collar is also a boy. Now he's not latched. Good timing. Oh yeah, we got to give him a clean up. Make sure he looks good for being on camera. Now Green Collar, now he is going to be a curly boy, more like his dad Copper. So you can see on his coat that he's got lots and lots of waves going on his coat there. So that tells you that he's going to have some curl. And then he's got lots of pretty little white going on him. He's a flashy dude. He's got these white little boots. He's got lots of white over his face, white up onto his head. And then this is our Daddy Copper's trademark white tip on the tail. And Mr. Green says, I would like to go back to where I belong, please. So we'll just put him right back. We don't want to do anything at this stage of the game that's really going to stress them anyway. We want them to be continuing to build that nice strong bond with mom. So Mr. Green was born at 7:10 p.m. and he's the smallest. He's 173 grams. Next we have Pink Collar Girl. Hey, no Pinky. Oh, nope, sorry, you're yellow. Pinky's over here. Come here, Pinky. There we go. Now again, she's very similar to the last puppy. Lots of the white boots going on again. Lots of big white on the tail. A little white, looks like a wishbone shape on the top of her head. White on the face. And then this puppy has quite a bit of white underneath on her chest. Hi, pretty girl. And Miss Pink Collar, she was born at 7:53 p.m. and she was 203 grams. So those were the two smaller puppies, one right after the other. Yeah, there's a pretty girl. Beautiful shade of caramel. Very similar to Mama Juniper here. So you can see when I put this puppy next to Juniper, you can hardly tell that there's any difference in their colors. And last but not least was our other girl, Yellow Collar Girl. And we'll just get her here. Hi, Yellow. And Yellow, she was born at 8:15 p.m., 224 grams. So the last one was a bigger puppy as well. And this is the puppy I was showing you is a little bit more gold colored. Now when I wrote it all down here, I can see this one I called a red caramel, but she's not really red. She is gold. And again, you'll see a few of those little ripples here in the coat. So this puppy's going to have some of those curls going on, courtesy of Papa. A little bit of white here under the chin, the goatee, a little bit on the chest going on, and a couple of little boots. Not as much as the other two. Okay, baby girl, I'll put you back. There, thanks, Juniper. That's very good. So now, as you probably already know, puppies are born with their eyes and their ears sealed shut. So the only sense they have is their nose. And right now we're not going to do anything. Tomorrow we'll start doing things with these puppies. We'll start handling them a little bit more. We'll put them up close to our necks so that they become more and more familiar with our scent. But for now, most of what we're doing is just not interfering and just letting this mother-child bond build here and making sure that everybody's in a good routine. Weight gains continue to be strong. I can tell you that the puppies are all gaining very nicely. They're all doing really quite well. So we want to make sure that that continues and just monitor them for the first 2-3 days to make sure all is well. Then we get on to doing more of our getting them used to us. We start them on probiotics, and we just come in and handle them more often. But really at this stage for the first week, we're just in here for a few minutes at a time when we actually deal with the puppies. Pick them all up, put them up next to our neck, let them feel the vibration on our chest when we speak, put them back down. Mostly what we're doing when we're in here is spending time with Juniper. Because, you know, if you're a mom and you're in this box and you've got 6 kids all day, it's really nice to have someone to come and talk to you and do things with you. Right, June? Yeah. So that's our litter, and this litter we had anticipated only having 2 or 3 puppies, and we have 6. So we have availability in this litter. Would be more than happy if you would like to email me at Claire, Claire, at vanisledoodles.com. And if you are interested, let me know and I'll be happy to send you a link to an application form. These puppies are going to be going home on July 31st, I believe it is. Roughly speaking. So it's lots of time to get ready, and these are going to be lovely puppies who will fit in with virtually any different type of lifestyle situation. And you can live in a condo, or you can live on 100 acres, or you can live on a sailboat. These puppies will be very happy with that. Copper's family has a sailboat, and he spends a lot of time on their sailboat and does very well. So we hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope you'll follow along with this litter for the 8 weeks we have them and see how they grow and develop. And we hope we can teach you a few things that you didn't know before about puppies, and in particular about Australian Labradoodles. Thanks so much for watching.